So this guy called Saurabh, we celebrated his 18th anniversary. Okay, so he joined us back on 16th of October 2004. At that time, he was a courier boy. He was 18-year-old chap. He was delivering a courier boy. I saw great intent and a great passion for something to do beyond ordinary thinking. And I just asked him, just come and join our office. So he moved on from a runner boy to my junior RM, to my ARM, then to someone who actually handled another city. Now, gradually, and he kept on actually going up to a senior RM, and now he actually is a sales head for an entire organization in terms of so-called the designation that we have, and at the same time he's a 5% partner in the entire profits of the entire organization.
Okay, Ashish, let's get this started. I had a privilege of having a good lunch with you sometime back when you were in Mumbai. Got a lot of insights into your practice, and based on that interactions, I picked up a few questions about your practice. So my first question, Ashish, to you is 8,000 families. It's not a small number. We talk about 150, 200 families being the norm, and you are managing 8,000 families. That's a huge number. How do you actually categorize these families so that you are able to manage them and give them appropriate level of service, either quantitatively or qualitatively?
So Sadik, 8,000 clients have been a journey, and a journey of last 18, 19 years now. So what has happened over these years that we have been trying to elevate ourselves, both in terms of the kind of clientele we handle, in terms of team, and how do we really actually, very critical aspect is how do we delegate it to the team, the other team members also. And I think so that is how this number 8,000 actually was possible. So what happens in our ecosystem is that we have a concept of senior RMs, then assistant RMs, junior RMs, and internal RMs. So there we have kind of four different kind of relationship managers who are actually looking after these set of clients. So I was a only RM when I started back in 2004. But then gradually what happened is that I picked up, and so I elevated myself and I started handling more and more clients. I got myself another RM, and maybe let me call them a junior RM or maybe a assistant RM, and I got them into my kitty, and then I started giving them the smaller set of clients whom I was really not able to find time to serve them, but they need to be served. And then that process evolved. So eventually, a senior RM moves on to the bigger scale, gets on to the in terms of quantity of not in terms of quantity of clients, but in terms of the quality of the client, the volume that they actually get from those set of big ticket clients. So what happens is the senior RMs actually handles very less number of clients. As they move to the seniority, handle less and less clients, and the junior RMs actually handle more and more clients. So that senior RMs, and so that's, exactly, smaller tickets, right? So the senior RMs can actually give time to the junior RMs for them to actually get upgraded over time. It's very essential to pass on the genes, whatever you have learned, to the next generation. And that's been we are very conscious about that. As we grow up the ladder, we have to have meaningful set of clients who are actually, big in ticket size. They need a very differential kind of services. At the same time, they are less in number. So correct. Today, possibly I am handling a lot more than 120, maybe, anything between 100 to 120 is what I handle personally. But when I started, maybe I was handling 300, 400 clients, but I started leaving. So for me to get another set of clients is like, it has to be really big so that I can pass on one of my another client to someone else. And that is with the chain that we have been able to build. And that's another reason that, the other team member actually feel, it's not easy for them to actually get new clients from the market, from the virgin market. So, but they get learned by their existing clients. They just need to handle them, continue to meet them, and then eventually they become their own clients.
Sure. So every RM plays two roles as they move up the ladder. One is client management as well as their team management.
Yeah. It's very, that is what. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Now, what is the bandwidth of your junior RM versus senior RM? As you mentioned, 120 clients.
Yeah.
What would be the average client size that each of the RMs handle?
So, okay, so senior most RM, I'm like, let's say I'll talk of myself. Okay. So I handle 100 to 120 clients. Then other, couple of more senior more clients, they handle not more than 200 clients. So the idea is not more than. We don't say jada karna hai, is abhi ko kam hi karna hai. You have to reduce the number of clients. So not more than 200, not more than 150. That's it. Then we actually, we have a concept called I have an assistant RM. Now that assistant RM essentially handles no client, but only takes care of my own clients. But gradually, that person is able to come up and that is able to actually take over the relationship, serve them better. So that is another assistant RM to a senior RM. Then we have a concept of junior RMs. Now junior RMs essentially handle anywhere between 300 to 500 kinds of clients. They are 300 to 500. Some are within the station, some are out stations, stuff like that. And then we have a concept of internal RMs who are only based in office. They are not supposed to go outside the office. And from their office itself, they are able to handle close to 500 to 600 clients. Their job essentially is not to go out anywhere. They just have to sit here and manage clients. So now the bottom of the pyramid clients, I'm saying they are also very important in our entire ecosystem. And they get served sitting here in office with whatever. In a technology world today, actually, we can all handle clients anywhere. So the top set of clients, so that's what we have been able to do it in terms of quantitative and quality both.
Great. Ashish, referrals and natural market play the most important forms of client acquisition for most of the financial advisors, distributors. What else beyond this has worked for you or are you doing for client acquisition?
Okay, so you have already said referrals are the main source of anyone's client acquisition. But what one thing has actually clicked with us is been a concentrated effort in a particular domain, in a particular, what do you call it as a particular organization. I remember back in 2004, I started going to a company called KEC International. I'm just giving this a random example. Back in 2004, I just picked up the Jaipur industry directory. I found there was a chartered accountant, Mr. Sharma there. I just kind of rang him up and I went there. I started his 1000 SIP back in 2004. Today, we have close to 120, 130 clients from that industry itself, in that company itself. Now, what we do is essentially we target that, okay, let's have few clients from a particular organization. Maybe a hotel, maybe an industry, maybe an educational institute, maybe anything else, and hospital for that matter. So there you have a concept, and that's where now once okay. So I started going to KEC International often, so I became a familiar face. No, it's not about getting references. So we're having a strategy. Now, once we have 2, 3, 4, 5 clients from that particular organization, then we start doing so-called a corporate IAP. Okay, now that we have some references, some people who are already so-called, they can talk about us, they can vouch for us. That is where we do regular sessions in that organization. So talking with an HR or with a finance guy or some, let's do some, financial education literacy program there. And that is where you may call it a IAP, but essentially it's a strategy because, so that's a strategy that really worked well for us.
Lovely. This is very clever and I'm sure it's a very efficient strategy,
it reduces the cost like everything. It reduces cost, it reduces time, effort, it increases the trust factor.
Correct. Because somebody is already working with you and they can vouch for you. So better to focus on that. Lovely. What percentage, my next question, and this I've been asking lately for almost every financial advisor now. What percentage of clients contribute to 80% of your revenue? And how do you handle this? What is the differentiated service that you offer to the people who give you 80% of that business?
Okay, so I think so, there is no different thing that are probably happening with us. I think so. It's even the 80-20 ratio still stands here also. The 80% of business comes from 20% client, and I'm like vice versa. So there is no further, I really would not say that we have a different ratio. See what happens at those 20% set of client. I think so. It's about they look forward to have a CEO talk. They look forward to have. They don't. What kind of discussion do we have with them rather than the product-oriented thing? I think so. The relationship with them goes beyond products and services, and it is about the CEO kind of talk. I always say, when you go to a CEO, the person wants to talk to another CEO. So rather than talking of markets or something, or there is no technical charges, all they relate with us, those bigger set of clients is, the kind of, I talk of books, I talk of, how do we go about retaining their team. I talk of various aspects that can help them alienate from their businesses, because those 20% set of clients are primarily those who are into businesses. They are not the ones who are into jobs. Okay. Correct. So I think the idea is to talk to a businessman from a perspective of a businessman. And I think that is what really works. I'll just share one thing that one of our bigger clients, I actually took a 7-day vacation with them, and just giving a very food for eyes. I took a 7-day vacation with them, and we went to a natural therapy center. I just literally pulled him up saying, sir, it is important that we give ourselves some time to our life. And otherwise, I don't think you would ever actually take time for your own life. And we spent 7 quality days doing actually naturopathy, going to the naturopathy center and doing nothing. Now, see, the point is they appreciate the fact that you are beyond business. See, there's no business talk. There's no, in terms of funds and all those things. That's the last thing that probably I believe at times I believe industry have a misconception that HNIs or ultra HNIs wants to have the fund manager talk, or they want to have more technical or market gyan or something. Unse to goal ki baatein nahi ho sakti. I think that they are the most vulnerable set of clients who actually require to have goal setting. Because they are not able to take money out of their businesses. So they definitely, only thing is that maybe the level of goals probably will be something different, but they definitely require goal setting. So I think that those are the talk that we need to have with those 20 set of clients. I'm like, there is no so-called product-wise differentiation that we can ever do with those set of clients. It's just about general talks and giving them a differential feeling.
So you're mentioning it's about relationship and beyond business communication that has really worked for you.
Yeah, getting into their shoes and understanding their problem rather than again going and trying to say maybe have another 1 crore, 2 crores investor. No, that's not the case. I think so. Understanding the investment in terms of retention of their employees or many sort of things where a financial, people like us can actually really add value in their businesses.
Sure. Coming to again back to the 8,000 clients, because this is a dream for many to serve so many people. It's not really about numbers. It's about making the impact to so many families, right? Yeah. Any specific CRM which you use, or you still use the good old Excel in having data about so many clients and managing those relationships?
Yeah. So that's, it's been a great learning curve for us. I think so, Sadik, I started, wherein we had that investment where you used to actually manually enter purchase and SIPs and manually do the redemption entry and all those things. We started from that era. But having said that, I think, I'll just, for the benefit of all the audience here, the, August gathering here, let me tell you, we were very focused on having a CRM. But, today, let me tell you, today we use Zoho. Okay. So today we use Zoho and Zoho as a CRM. In fact, it's not just a CRM. I think so. It's the entire, what do you call it as ERP in office. So we have our HR into Zoho. We have our accounts into Zoho. We have a query management into Zoho. I'm like even from the as small as even my, pantry inventory is supposed to be entered in Zoho. And those kind of setup that we're trying to create, everything have to be through Zoho. And we are spending quite the amount of money in building up Zoho. Every office has a and Zoho account there. So that's quite an investment there. And we have been using Zoho since 2014 now, and we have invested a lot of time, effort, and energy actually building up, making it a more tailor-made, especially suiting our requirement. And there's a lot of I would say hits and misses which has actually happened building up, and we still are learning that thing. But prior to 2014, when I was possibly around 250 odd crores of assets, that time we were 14, 15 of us. Until that, in terms of team size, and we were using Asana. There's an online tool available for all the, it's for your good thing for your audience, that we used to have a tool called Asana, wherein because the biggest challenge is, communication between the team, who has communicated what, and, who is going to do what. Those are the things actually very, very critical. So I think that the entire CRM was that time tailor-made, and we actually did it in our office through Asana. It's asana.com. It's a fantastic tool which all of us can use it.
Asana and then so.
Yeah.
Ashish, my next question is, I have seen you as a very confident person with saying that there is actually no competition and it's a blue ocean and all other things which exhibit your confidence in this profession and being there, right? But still, if I have to ask you who are your competitors, from whom you actually might be getting clients and to whom you might lose clients if you don't do the job right, what is it?
My answer possibly remains the same. I think so. The biggest competitor to my own, as probably Charlie Munger has said, the biggest, or maybe, I don't know, one of the investment grade, Charlie Munger or Warren Buffett, they said that the biggest problem and the investor's chief enemy likely to be, Benjamin Graham said that, the biggest problem and the chief enemy of investors is likely to be himself. I think so. I would once again echo that thing, and I said, I think so. The biggest problem, the biggest competition that I have is my own inner self. Will I ever get complacent? Will I ever say, "Yaar, bahut ho gaya"? Will I ever get into the fact that even when I make a mistake, I don't realize it and I say, let the client go. I'm like, the clients do go, but they go at the cost of my errors, and I'm now egoistic. No, I don't want that. That's okay if you're going. I have many more clients coming in. I think that is where I'm very, very scared about that. Am I getting into that zone of mere ko koi farak nahi padta hai? That is, I think, so that's the biggest challenge I have still. And every day I get up and I ask myself, let's not get into that zone. And believe me, as a human, you do get into that. It's not, I'm not trying to say I don't. I do get into a zone where I feel, oh, yaar, bahut kuch kar liya hai, chodo na. I think so. That's where I challenge myself that no, Ashish, there are miles to go, and I set myself another level that I need to achieve. And that's where, that pushes me, makes me more and more humble. I think that's the biggest challenge. Where will investor go? Honestly, I still continue to believe investors will only come to us. Or they will come to us. Eventually, they are going direct, or they're going to banker, or they're going to anywhere else. They are going to come to us. And that's my something that, it's ingrained in my own thoughts that, Sadik, honestly, I cannot have an answer to your question. There's someone else. No, it's actually me. Its problem is me, where I get over enthusiastic, or I'll get over egoistic. I'm not over even egoistic. I think that's where, that's a trouble. And I fear that. Honestly, I fear that. Yeah.
And Ashish, I keep telling this during some of my sessions with upcoming financial advisors. Once you reach the level, there are only two things that can kill you or bring you down, which is complacency and ego. If you can control these two things, you are still growing and you're still doing better.
I completely agree, Sadik.
Yeah. Ashish, coming to now, once you're, we are done with the clients, now coming to the team, which is actually required to manage such a huge asset book as well as client base.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest challenges which remains with financial advisors, distributors, is the compensation structuring, right? So how is it that you are structuring compensation for client-facing team members, operational team members, the bonus, the salary? If you can give some insights on how to think about this compensation part, or making people happy to be part of your team, right?
See, first of all, team will be happy, or they will stick to you when you are also a part of organization and not you're just any other person in an organization, not the owner or the so-called the boss of the organization. Because people don't want to work for you. People want to work for themselves. I think so. That is something which is very much ingrained in us, that people don't work for, they may come for money. They don't stick for money. They stick for ownership. They stick for respect. They stick for growth. They stick for many other things. And that's, I think, so an ecosystem we have to create. Excel sheets and bonuses and monetary compensations, can to an extent play a great role. I'm like, reasonable role. But the greatest of the role is played when they actually get that weightage of, yes, that's their business. It's just sharing one small thought. It just happened in the morning. So we decided for one thing, as a management, the 4 of us in the management decided that this should not happen this year. And one of the colleagues actually come and said, no, I don't, sir, I think so, it's wrong that you guys are doing. I actually heard that person. I said, and we internally, we realized, no, I think so. What that person was saying was right. I think so, the team sticks with you. Because when you are being, they believe they can be heard, they can speak, and they can implement their ideas. I know. So I give a lot of autonomy to my entire team and say, everyone don't have to knock my door and actually come and just talk on my face and say, this is something which is going wrong. This is something going wrong. We need to implement it. And that's an autonomy. That's a kind of respect that I think one has to give to the entire team. And that is where, that's the most important thing that a team looks forward to. So you're talking about your specific objective oriented question, which is growth. I'm like in terms of bonus salary. I think that those are based on, what do you call it as performances are being judged. Salaries are based on the criteria. I think the bonuses are all judged on overall performance. And the performance is not just in terms of, the quantity of the business that they do. The performance and the bonus is actually judged by also the way how they contribute in grooming others and helping others in this organization to actually go to the next level. I think that we really look into those soft skill issues, those soft skills that people have. That how much you are able to actually help others to grow rather than pulling someone down. Are you helping others to grow? Those are, and that is where the major compensation gets attracted. That please help each other to grow. That's one thing. Talking of, so we have various retention policies in terms of, if you stay along for this organization over a period of time, this is what we're going to give. These are the benefits in terms of, let's say, car loan or, maybe some sort of home loan. Then those are the retention policies which we have created so that offers loyalty program to the entire team, specifically to back end and the operation team. When it comes to the front end team, I think so, apart from the salary that, the salaries are very meaningless part of their entire salary, entire take home pay. But what we do is, we are categorized from, first of all, we share the trail. But the trail...
So, Ashish, let's make it a little simple. If you can actually give an example with number, I think...
Yeah, exactly. So what we do is we share the person trail in terms of up to 10 lakh rupees of SIP book of every RM. They will get a 10% of the trail. 20 lakh, they'll get 20%, 30 lakh, they'll get 30%, 40 lakh, they'll get 40%. When they cross 50 lakh, that's a max cap. Up to 50% trail, they will be able to take home. Beyond 50 lakhs, the structure actually changes. But this is how, you go building up the compensation of your team members in terms of sales.
Yeah. And there is some kind of a fixed salary to make them comfortable.
Yeah. So that fixed salary, what I call it as, we always call it stipend to the sales guys. Okay. Well, let's say 20,000 rupees. After that, we're going to give you clients and please get business from the client. We'll help you rather than you don't. So that's an ecosystem that you create. Yeah.
Got it. That's a real win-win for both the organization and the team members.
Yeah.
So, Ashish, you also mentioned about a team member of yours who earns almost 50 lakh rupees plus income, right? And just to give stats to my audience, if you're earning 50 lakhs and above, you actually fall into the top 1% income bracket of this India. You can be counted amongst the top 1%. What a beautiful aspiration to seed and actually show people a career path. Can you speak a little bit more about this person or this particular structure?
I'll probably speak double of more because now we have not just one, we have 2 persons in our team who are actually cross 50 lakhs rupees. So
pure income.
Wow. Yeah. So to them, we actually don't pay any salary. They are not part of a salary anymore. It is just that, because from an income tax perspective, we have actually converted him to a different person. So the so-called salary structure doesn't pay the business income, but that's a separate chapter. So there was a guy, and I'd like to share, 2 stories, and I'll try to be quick here. So this guy called Saurabh, who actually joined us just 2 days before, so on 16th of October, we celebrated his 18th anniversary. Okay, so he joined us back on 16th of October 2004. At that time, he was a courier boy. He was 18-year-old chap. He was delivering a courier boy. I saw great intent and a great passion for something to do beyond ordinary thinking. And I just asked him to, just come and join our office. So he moved on from a runner boy to my junior RM, to my ARM, then to someone who actually handled another city. Now, gradually, and, he kept on actually going up to a senior RM. And now he actually is a sales head for an entire organization in terms of so-called the designation that we have. And at the same time, he's a 5% partner in the entire profits of the entire organization. That's Saurabh. Back in 2012, there was another. Back in 2011, there was a person called Nitesh who was doing MBA from Pune Symbiosis. He joined us as an intern just for 4 months. And he worked with us. He kind of liked the culture. After that, he joined the bank. In Jaipur. But within 6 months, he actually could sense that I'm not good. I cannot really work in a bank. And he probably liked the culture of SLA. So he joined us back in 2012. That time in bank, he was drawing a package of 45,000 rupees per month. I offered him a package of 15,000. He immediately agreed that, yes, I don't want to get into a 40. I am very fine with 15, but I really want to do great. Today, Nitesh has another chap who is entire sales coordinator for entire office. And he too is drawing more than 55 lakhs rupees of package. I'm like, in terms of his contribution from the organization he takes away. And he's also a 5%, owner of the profit shareholder of the company now.
What do I do? Disappointed.
No, no, it is not about this.
But it's good to know that, you really don't depend on your laptop and on a screen to do the business. It's more of your relationship and your thoughts and your conversations which matter more.
My 90% of my time today goes sitting. I just pull up one of my teammates. I'll just ask, chalo yaar chalte hain. I'll sit in a cafe, sit with them for an hour or two, understand what their problem is, where are they lagging down. So half of my time is actually sitting in some cafe, not even office, because I hate to sit in office and probably didn't work. I'll just chalo kahin chalte hain, chai peene chalte hain. I'll sit with some random place, some 30, and have that 30 rupee cup of tea, and then I'll discuss 1 crore rupee business there. And that's what. So as I scribble a lot on my OneNote so that I can store my ideas and whatever. Rest, there is nothing. And honestly, there's nothing. There is no InvestWell or any other software that we use. It's not on my laptop. If a client requires something, I'll simply say, I'm like, first of all, clients won't actually come to me for all those things. But having said that, even if they come, I'll just pass it on the query to someone else and they'll just pass it on to them. Yeah.
इसीलिए आपने अपने खुद के लिए छोटा cabin बनाया, so that you're out of your cabin and out of your office.
So my laptop today essentially is used more for me to watch YouTube, or maybe read some books at times and stuff like that. That's beyond that, honestly, nothing.
Fantastic. Yeah. Ashish, you have been one of the most popular faces and trainer, speaker, even for financial advisors, distributors, right? Hundreds of trainings, and you're doing, we have ourselves invited you at least 10 times in the last 3-4 years. And you
I haven't charged you. Yeah, good. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for that contribution to the community.
Okay, yeah.
Now, my question is, what are the top 3 mistakes which you think IFAs, MFDs currently making, according to you? Top 3. We'll just stick to 2 or max 3.
So, Sadiq, first of all, with folded hands, it is no offense to anyone, and I'm sure most of all the audience who are there are probably, this is my observation when I meet other fellow distributors. See, the number one mistake that I find is that they are not investing back into the business. Mm-hmm. Okay. So when I say business investment, it's not about, building an office and, something like that. A business investment where your business actually grows, it helps you grow. Anything that acts as a lever, kind of a lever to the growth of an organization. That's a kind of, so today my stock in trade is time. Mm-hmm. And if I can only increase the time, I can't increase my time. So what I do is I leverage with the time of other relationship managers. So I invest a lot of time, and not in terms of time, in terms of money into the business, so that we stay stick. we stay stick, and then we grow as an organization. So most of the time that I meet distributors, they are not investing in their business. They are busy creating their own real estate, or they are building their own personal AUM, or creating a rental income or stuff like that. But when you talk of what is the kind of business investment that you're doing, हमने तो office बना लिया है, तो no, office is not an investment. It's just you have parked your fixed deposit into another fixed deposit. It's not adding value. It's not adding more clients. You have stopped your rental, and you have now, instead of rental, you are not paying that rent. So essentially, you are adding that, you're saving that rental income and creating another. That's what you've done. So that's not a business investment. Business investment that can actually go zero. And business investment can actually go zero. So people are scared to lose their money because they're considering, हम तो यहाँ business करने आए, तो बस अपने लिए asset बना लो, अपना retirement, अपना बच्चों की planning, we having a bigger car or bigger rental property or bigger AUM and all those things. So they are not they have not understood this as a business. And then they ask, Ashishji, business is not growing. The reason is you're not plowing back your profits into the business. So how will I'm like, had you been a manufacturer sector or a doctor or any other person, you would have invested into new technology, new setup, new product line or something like that. But we have not done anything like that. We're just continuing what we have been doing and then doing it alone. I think that's the biggest mistake I find. Then just continuing with this, not building a team. As I said, the number of the hours that I spend with my time is my stock in trade. I have only limited 8 hours, maybe 9 hours, to the most 10 hours that I can actually work. How many clients will I serve? So I invest, I have actually got people sitting with me, building up that team. And believe me, I call it an 80-20. With the two people that, one day I was called in a seminar to take a session for the fellow distributor. And then someone said, here comes Ashish Modani, a successful IFA from Jaipur who is managing a team of 35 people. I said, please stop. Let me give you my introduction. I am an unsuccessful IFA who, in the process of managing 35 plus people, have lost 235 people more. You have to go to the background, go to the pedigree of how many losses I have actually built into the system. So with every 2 people that you see today, I have actually lost 8. And I have that audacity and guts to actually lose 8. And that's what I call investing back into the business. It's going to happen. But is that going to stop me? No, it's not. I am now aiming at 150, 185, 200, team members maybe next 5 years. And that's keeping me humble. We have to invest a lot into business. So then comes the last thing, as I said, moving into a comfort zone. Getting an income of 100 crore EM, getting an income of, what's the target? 100 crore income. Why the target? I'll have an income of 5-6 lakhs rupees coming a month with my minimal expenses of 50-60,000 rupees, maybe 1 lakh rupee investing into salary for 2-3 more people, maybe some rental and maybe electricity and some traveling. So rest 5-6-7 lakhs rupees is what is going to be. That's like a lavish lifestyle you can build, and that's the thing. I think so. We got into comfort. Many of the distributors that I meet, their AUMs have actually gone up because of the NAV going up rather than the units going up. So we have to continuously ask, how many units am I adding into the system?
Correct.
Yeah. So I think these are the 3 things, upfrontly that comes to my mind. And again, sorry if I've been, I just
Ashish, we always take it in the right spirit. You are a person who talks on the face, and I'm sure my audience will appreciate your intention of helping them think bigger and grow bigger than, okay, theek hai, abhi jo kar rahe ho bahut acha hai, lekin there is something always next level, which is much bigger than your current vision. And that's what we definitely appreciate. So with that, Ashish, thanks a lot for this. I see the Diwali decorations looks like are already happening in your office. And we request the guests in this talk to show their office and their team members. And we wish to say hi to your team if they're around. So friends, how many of us want to see Ashish's team and office on the chat? Say, bring it on. Say, bring it on the chat. If you want to see Ashish's team and the office, which we have been speaking about for the last 20-25 minutes. Over to you, Ashish.
Okay, so let me put the camera on let me change the camera. I hope Sadik, is that fine? Yes. Yeah, so that's Sadik, my cabin. So that's Shweta, who looks after this entire operations, and she heads the HR and operations, and everything else from the office. So that's my cabin.
And Ashish, a lot of good books out there. Looks like we should have another session on what do you read.
So most of the time I read management, and some psychology. So that's few of the network FP things are also here. Sadik, if you can just see over there. Yeah. So in my office there is nothing which I have kept it from any awards from AMC. So that's just one thing. So because there is a Diwali celebration happening, so when the entire team was actually bifurcated into 5 teams, and each team were given a area to decorate, and then we'll have competition among them. A few of them doing some this is kind of Ganesh they're building from this material, those things. So that's not able to take you there.
No problem.
So we have another office where we have Saurabh, Nitesh, and other team members actually sit. And I would have loved to show you. We have within our office we have a small cabin where we have a recliner, and we have this foosball game. What we call it a Ramniwas Bagh. So Ramniwas Bagh is kind of a central park of Jaipur. So that we call it a place. So all greenery and all those things. So stuff like that. Yeah.
So cool. Thanks a lot, Ashish. Appreciate your time, efforts, and showing around the office space in the end. Amazingly good inspiration and insights both. So on the chat, when you're around, when you're away, I just asked how did you all like it. Friends, can we all thank Ashish Modani for being here with us today and sharing both insights from his practice and also inspiring us. And Ashish, it's always, I get supercharged whenever I speak to you. So thanks for this, playing the role of, being the charger for rest of the fraternity. Thanks a lot.
No, thank you. Thank you so much. And wish everyone on my behalf, I'm a happy Diwali and a great year ahead. Sadik, to you and the entire audience, to the entire team.
Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye. Take care.